natural laws are really interesting because there's more than 500 natural laws that have been identified. And out of those natural laws, there are things that actually tie all three together: the personality masteries, the 530 grid, and the natural laws. They tie everything together. So when we're talking about the value of installing systems, it's important to pay close attention now, not only to the personality masteries and the 530 grid, but now the DNA for life, which is the natural laws, and how important that is in installing systems. Because it's great to know who you're talking to, it's great to know a path to take them on, but now we got to know why and how to multiply our efforts so that we can do things in less time. And again, just as a reminder, before we bring up Isaac, he's going to do a fantastic job for us for the DNA for Life. I want to remind you that we are having a fundraiser today, and we're raising money for kids at risk. We're raising for money for single moms. And right there on the Mastermind Seminars Live segment, you see it, Pay It Forward. It's a tremendous way to give. Again, Life Masteries Institute is a 501c3 authorized IRS non-for-profit organization, and this allows you to give with an open heart and generously, and know that you're doing it in a legitimate way as well to help people get to their dreams. And it's interesting. We find that when we actually give back monetarily, that we give monetarily. So if you give, you get. If you give time, you get time. If you give your IP, your intellectual property, you get intellectual property. It's pretty cool the way that works. So, without any further ado, I would love to bring up Isaac. Isaac is going to do the DNA for Life and how that ties into the importance of installing systems. Isaac, it's all you, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Kevin. Again, I'm Isaac Carr with CCSK Law. I believe that I'm here to change your life. I mean, actually, every time I have a speaking opportunity, I believe I'm there to change the lives of everyone in that room. That's because our ability to impact the world around us, that's bigger than us. You know, there are underlying principles and forces of nature. They're bigger than you. They're bigger than me. And they're bigger than your business, and they're bigger than my business. Right? These underlying principles, they're called natural laws. Right? And the people who understand and follow these natural laws, they're more profitable and they're happier. So, you know, I have to ask, you know, to everyone in the audience, I'm asking you, do you get it? Do you understand that there are these natural laws that are bigger than you and your business, right? And are you going to take advantage of those laws to better your business? You know, if someone were to put two plates in front of you, you know, one had profitability and the other had happiness, you know, and if you were to say, you know what, I'm going to choose profitability and I'm just going to buy me some happiness with that, then I'm not really talking to you, right? Because you don't quite get it yet. And, you know, and if you said, you know what, happiness is more important than profitability, I'm not really talking to you either because they're not exclusive. One is not contingent upon the other. I want to talk to the people who say, you know what, why can't I have both? Why can't I have both profitability and happiness? Because you know what? At that point, you're starting to get it. Now, I'm a business attorney, so I meet with a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs who they reach a stopping point in their business. They hit a ceiling, you know, and they feel like they're fighting against the grain every day and getting nowhere. And oftentimes it's because they are. You know, they don't understand that there are forces that are bigger than their business. But by installing the proper systems, you can actually use those forces to your advantage. You know, by understanding and implementing these natural laws into that proper system, your life can become less stressful and more profitable. You know, these business owners, they'll explain to me how they don't know how to grow their business. They don't know where to go. And I ask a real fundamental basic question. I ask, what's your vision? You know, who are you and where are you going? And there's so many business owners who can't even answer that basic question, the starting point. Because if they don't have a life vision, and without some version of this vision, you can't implement systems into your life that are going to make you less stressful and more profitable. You have to start looking at that big picture and then taking it down to tangibility through proper systems. Now, I want to actually take the next segment to kind of open it up to the other speakers, all right, so we can kind of paint a picture of how to understand and follow these natural laws and then pull them down in proper systems so you can use these natural laws to your advantage. Now, feel free to still text in, and you can also visit dnaforlife-laws.com to learn more about these. But I want to turn it back, and Kevin, how have these natural laws helped you?
Well, I appreciate that, Isaac. And by the way, great job here on the first segment here. One of the natural laws that have helped me the most is the cluster principle. And the cluster principle states that it's not uncommon that somebody making a buying or selling decision knows between 3 to 9 other people making buying or selling decision in 6 to 12-month period of time. So people that are, young professionals hang out with other young professionals. Lawyers hang out with lawyers. People that are CPAs hang out with other CPAs. People that are empty nesters hang out with other empty nesters. And so it's important to identify the people that are making the same kind of buying decisions and helping them understand the value of what it means to group that same message. That's really that. Even going back to the 530 grid, I'll stay on this. I'll stay on this right now, so we don't go ahead too fast. But again, people tend to know other people. On the 530 grid, if we go to the 530 grid and we look at box 3, which is developing and delivering a message to people, that is where we can take the cluster principle, and after we've identified the targets in box 1, we can go to box 2 and develop and deliver the message to that particular group, that cluster of individuals. So it's not the same message that I would give to somebody who is 50 and their kids are graduating college that I would to give to somebody who's 25 and just starting a family. It's going to be slightly different. It's going to slightly help understand what we're doing. But that's the power of the cluster principle. So when we've identified our targets, now we develop that cluster principle in that message. So again, Isaac, you're a lawyer, and what is it that you do?
Yeah. So I work with business owners and entrepreneurs with business planning, contract drafting, and entrepreneurial strategies.
Okay. So now that you've developed and delivered a message to your clients in box 2, you can go to box 3, okay, which is tracking 100% of those leads. And once you do that, you've asked key questions in box 4, back to the 530 grid here, asking key questions of those same people. Remember, it's the same group of people you're talking to, other business owners. In box 4, asking key questions. Then, when you go out to actually implement, once you've identified and you've developed and you've tracked and you've asked, now you can implement in box 5 the 10-plus strategic strike system. By being able to do that, I'm able to, in my business where I help people, help people get health insurance that they can actually afford, now I can help them understand there's going to be a different need for somebody in their 50s with, they're going to be, their kids are graduating college, or like you said, there's a business owner and they're 25. Being able to specifically key in on what's happening in their business is going to be important, so that when I do that, I'm grouping people in messages in box 6. So the cluster principle in our system not only takes into account the DNA for people, the DNA for business, but also the DNA for life. Now we're talking to a specific group over and over and over, and we get tighter and tighter with our message. And that's for everybody that's on the line, no matter what you do. And that's how it's helped me to be able to say specific things to specific groups of people when I ask key questions. Does that help, Isaac, or not so much?
No, I love it. I love the way that you presented all of that, because it shows how all of this works together. And you know what? Even in your explanation, you hit on other principles that help people grow their businesses, because a lot of these natural laws build on one another. And you showed a great example about how to use a natural law like the cluster principle to implement into a system. One of my favorite ones is the kindling principle, right? Where you take building relationships. When you starting a company, you say, you know what? I've had clients come to me and say, I want to go global. I want to help every business from the biggest, companies out there to the mom and pop stores. And they're like, how do I do that? And I say, you got to start somewhere. You know, you have to start somewhere small if you want to go big. The kindling principle says you take, a little bit of kindling so that you can light a big fire. You're not going to take a lighter up to a tree. That's not going to start a big fire. You got to start somewhere. So maybe start with those mom and pop stores and then grow your business. And by focusing on a cluster principle, maybe you find a cluster of individuals that you can start with, and that's your kindling. And then you can grow that because these principles, they work together, and you can implement them through those systems. And Kevin, thank you. That was a fantastic way to present an executable way of using natural laws in a real-life situation. Thank you.
Absolutely, Isaac. And, we just had a text in from Patrick who said, how do the natural laws tie into the 530 grid and personality masteries? That's a good question, Patrick. So hopefully what you had just heard, I know we have a little bit of a delay here on the information, but hopefully you saw how the 530 grid ties into that. So if I'm identifying, if I'm looking at the personalities, we can go back to the personalities here. In the personalities, we understand that we have the cube, the pyramid, the wavy line, and the ball. Again, the cube, the pyramid, the wavy line, and the ball. And understanding that in implementing systems, once we've identified who these people are by asking key questions, where we can tell that somebody who's an analytic gets very frustrated for being out of order by just asking some key questions. And when we ask questions of the analytic, sometimes they'll say, well, I just have a few quick questions. Analytics never have a few quick questions. They always pepper you with, once you give them the answer to the next one, they go, okay, then what about this? And then what about this? And what about this? They want to make sure that all their T's are crossed, all their I's are dotted. So being able to take the personality, you understand that this is a detail-oriented person. We need to move slow, and they're task-oriented. So once we've got that identified, we can take them to the 530 grid and take them strategically down the first 6 boxes at least. They're going to get excited about the 530 grid because you have 5 rows and 6 columns, and now they see a clear system. They're actually going to be a little bit calmer with you because they see things are in order. It's not just a random showing of information. The next thing, Patrick, if we look at the personality masteries and we look at the driver just wants to get there now. Let's go now. I can't wait. I've got this huge thing. We're going to take over South America, something lofty, something that's impossible to do. But if you show them, okay, let's first identify the countries you're going to take over. And I know that was a ridiculous example, but a driver is looking to accomplish this huge thing, and they don't like things that are out of control. So once you know that they don't like things that are out of control, they want to get there fast, they want to get to their goal, they want to win now, then you can say, I'm going to show you something as briefly as possible, 6 quick steps, and it's going to help you get there a lot sooner and galvanize your team so you're going to win sooner, win faster. Is that good with you? Yeah, let's do this. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Any questions? No, let's do it. Great. And then you can, at that point, you can identify the other people if you're working with an organization, who the other drivers, who the other analytics are, and all the wavy lines, and the balls, the people that kind of pull things together. So the detail people will be the analytic, and that's going to be analytic task. The pyramid is going to be task people, so they're going to move that really fast. Then we go down to the expressive. Again, we have to make sure that this is not, that it's going to be fun. It cannot be boring. It's going to be like, hey, I'm going to tell you something once. Well, oh, man, this thing is so cool. Do you like to do stuff that's really awesome and amazing and be part of an organization that's really exciting? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, you got to check this thing out. And then once we take them to say, listen, this is how it gets done, and it's so much fun because we get it done faster, and we can do more of it, and we can do it in less time, and then we can like have a party, and like there's excitement going on. These people are on board, okay, and they'll invite all their friends if they think it's fun, all right. And then the drivers are going to drive the tasks. The expressives drive the people. They're going to move fast and drive people, okay. And then, now that we've got them together, now we've got to get to the amiable. The amiable actually ties everybody together. They are the glue. They are stubborn. Once they make up in their mind that they want to do something, it's a done deal. So the driver's excited. because he's getting there sooner. The analytics getting excited because they get excitement out of order. They get excitement out of systems and patterns. The expressive's excited because everything is fun, and the amiable's really thrilled because it's a team effort and everybody's on the same page. So when you develop the message for those people, now you can move into the 530 grid, and those two together with the natural laws that tie everything together, you can do that over and over again with the same people. So this is a quick example of a child who's put together. I love this example of the. I just saw it up there real quick, which was a life vision. But Patrick, I hope that that helps you out. And of course, there's a lot of other ways that we can discover our life vision that you're seeing up here, and other DNA for people, DNA for business, DNA for life. You can do a deep dive on any one of those things. But the important thing is we develop the importance of installing systems. Everybody is on the same page.